here is all the documents that you need for your fellowship ideas, okay? So this is the thinking grid. If those of you that have filled this out, please do that. So this is the document we had on Wednesday, yeah? So down this left-hand side is all of the dimensions of the framework, okay? So I would like you to be able to have sight of one of these. If you could just see it online, and you're happy to look at it online, that's fine. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to give you some blank versions of this, and you'll spend some time writing some examples down here that's going to apply to you. Okay? So you'll spend some time looking at all of those activities there. Okay? And then when you go all the way down to what we've just been discussing now, okay? So you'll see these values that I've just gone through here: respecting individual learners and diverse communities, promoting participation, evidence-informed approaches, and acknowledging the wider context. So we'll have an opportunity tomorrow to think about some of these things here, and you can actually look at how you will link that back to the activities that we're already doing. Okay, does that all make sense? So we'll start to flesh that out a bit. I do think this one, will be quite challenging because it's so diverse. Everybody's is thinking very different. But you link these back to your activities. Okay, so you don't write about these in isolation. Yeah? Yes, that will make sense. So you look at your activity that you do, and you say, well, that's hitting this value here and this value here. All right, so that's tomorrow morning. We're going to spend some time writing that. Those of you that are considering either senior or normal fellowship, I'll have another subgroup meeting and talk about the difference between senior and standard fellowship. Okay, so but effectively you'll be doing the same kind of activity, but we'll just be thinking about the different types of evidence that you need for senior fellowship. Okay, so that's tomorrow morning. Also tomorrow, because I wouldn't like you to think you're having a nice easy time, you're going to do a presentation, okay? What I want you to do for the presentation, this is going to be using the PowerPoint timers, okay? So that I want you to have one image. So this is, let me just show you this. Okay, so this was from a workshop I did in Pakistan a few weeks ago, and I asked each of the people in the workshop to come up with an image that represented them and their teaching and their discipline. Okay, so you'll see here that they then just created these workshops. That one is a bit more words and visual. This one here is a very nice visual one. Didn't do the task properly and made it all animated, but still was quite a nice visual. This is their kind of university emblem. This one's lovely, I thought. Best teachers are craftsmen who know the science of teaching. And this is a guy who's a structural engineer and wants to be an artist as well. And wants to put fun into teaching. So it's these kind of things. I want you to create one slide that you will use. Yeah, that's another nice image. So you can just see some of the all very different diverse ideas that people use in that presentation. Okay. So what I want you to do is to think about an image that represents you, your discipline, your teaching. So tomorrow we'll all come together and you're going to give a 2-minute presentation. Those slides will all be put into one deck, so you need to email me or send me your slide so that I can put it all in the deck, okay? And then you'll see the running order. And essentially, what you'll get 2 minutes from when your slide appears to when the next person's slide appears. You'll have 2 minutes. So if it takes you 30 seconds to walk to your seat to get to here, especially if you have to climb over everybody, you need to take that into account. Okay? Yeah? So you're going to speak for 2 minutes. And I've got what I need to talk about. Oh, yeah, there it is there. Well, I knew I'd thought about it. Okay, what change are you going to make to your practice as a result of doing this first week of this course? Okay? So what I want you to talk about is something that you've learned this week and something that you're going to change really as a result between now and when we come back in June. Okay? So I appreciate that obviously you're in the middle of teaching a course, so you're not going to have a whole-scale curriculum rewrite, but maybe just some small thing that you're going to change. And I think it would be helpful for you to think about that in terms of the framework dimensions. You know, why are you changing it? You know, what evidence do you have that this is going to be something good to change? And what values that's bringing to bear? Okay? It's only 2 minutes, so you're not going to be able to write an essay. All right? Has anybody got any questions? I've changed my mind about this. You're not going to do it in your group, you're going to do it as a class as a whole. Sorry. Well, because I've got 2 minutes each, there's 30 of you, that will take 1 hour to get around everybody. I think it would be useful for you to see what you're all planning on. Right, has anybody got any questions about the task for tomorrow to start off with?
Shall we do it tonight on our laptops and bring them tomorrow, or tomorrow?
No, do it tonight, make a picture, think about what you're going to say, email me the PowerPoint presentation, okay? One picture, one slide. No animation on the slide, you know, nothing starting and finishing. One slide, one image, and then I'll add them all to the deck and I'll tell you what the running order is. Okay? Then you'll present this to the group, okay? Right, so from 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock we'll have the writing workshop. At 11 o'clock we will start the presentations. Okay, that'll finish at 12 o'clock. And then you have lunch, and then after lunch you will do this bit here in your action learning groups. So within your action learning groups, you will then discuss what it is that the person is planning to do. Okay? Are you listening, guys? Because otherwise it'll be a car crash. So after lunch, you've all done your presentations in a big group, not as it says here, doing your presentations within a small group. You'll present here to everybody, then we have lunch, and after lunch you form your small action learning groups, not these groups here, but just whatever group you want to work with over the next term, okay? And you will give each person in your group feedback on their presentation, but also on their plan. Okay? So in your talk, so if it was me, I would say, right, okay, next term I'm going to start using Kahoot at 10-minute intervals in my class. Okay? That's a nice simple example. And then you could say to me, well, that's a really great idea, but like, you know, what about the students that don't have phones? What are you going to do about that? Okay? So, but that's kind of a bit of a negative one. You need to kind of be more positive than my example. Okay, so you go in your action learning groups. When I'm going to bring up the slide now about how the action learning groups work. So in terms of the structure, is everybody clear what's going to happen? So you'll leave here at, you'll re-meet after lunch at 1ish, and then go into your small groups, wherever you use the rooms next door, decide who you're working with, and then you operate in your action learning groups for probably about half an hour, maybe even longer, that takes quite a long time. And then you will then revise what it is that you're planning to do based on the feedback you got from your group. Okay? Yeah?
Feedback papers? Feedback papers?
Yes. Yes. Documents for it, yes. Yes.
Are we, at our presentations, PowerPoints, are we allowed only one image or a few lines? Or just one image? Because there were a few lines of examples.
Yes. But as long as it's on one slide, you can put as much in that slide as you want.
Ah, okay. Because maybe
no moving images.
No moving images, no,
just one image
slide.
and lines, we get lines of.
Yeah. So some of them were like a montage of images. You can do that. Email address. Email address, yeah. Okay, so I'll give you my email address here. Any more questions? Okay, just the final piece then about tomorrow. This is how your active learning group should work. They are supposed to be a very constructive space, okay? So it's about supporting each other, it's about creating openness and trust. So I'm not going to be prescriptive about the size of the group. It works best if you have at least 5 people, because you start to get a range of opinions. Much smaller than that and it can become a little bit intense. You need to, after tomorrow, you need to have set, or during your session tomorrow, you need to agree how you're going to communicate and how you're going to set up the next meetings. So I would suggest that you need to meet at least twice between when I speak to when we finish tomorrow and when we come back in June. Okay? But that part is entirely up to yourself.
6th June.
6th of June, yes. 6th of June we start again.
6th of Bayram'ın.
So the next part, in terms of how the actual groups work,
İkinci oluyor. Bayram var o zaman, onun için şey. 6 to 9. Eylül'ü birlikte bekliyoruz ama okul başlamadan daha akademik akşam belli olmadı.
Okay, anybody got any questions about this part? So, in terms of the group structure, once you meet together, it's going to be slightly artificial tomorrow because you're going to give an overall presentation. But when you meet as a group, you then give each individual person in the group the opportunity to speak without being interrupted. I think you guys are going to find that bit the most challenging. But so they speak. So I would say, you ask them, how did you feel your presentation went? How do you feel your presentation went? Would be the first opening question. Giving them an opportunity to reflect on what they thought they did well in their presentation, what they think they could improve. So it's very much about putting them in the space first. Okay, and once they've talked about it, you might say, well, what do you think are going to be the challenges in implementing the idea that you've got? Or do you think there are going to be any challenges? So it's very much about asking open questions, right? And the big no word ever to ask is why. Okay, so those of you that have kids, it's like, that the why word I think is prevalent in our language. Maybe this is only an English thing. Why have you not done your homework? Why have you not picked up your laundry? Why have you not done the washing up? That kind of why is a very aggressive word. Does that come across as well in the Turkish language? Quite an aggressive word. So if we go back to the example I shared earlier, why are you thinking of using Kahoot? You really feel very defensive about that. Yeah? Or you have to justify yourself. So try to think of other words. What, how, where, when. Okay? Tell me a little bit more about this. So if you start opening in questions in your actual learning group in that much more open way, the dialogue can be much more constructive. So it can be useful, and I do believe it's much more helpful. I've been involved in some of these action learning groups where they haven't had time limits and they can just go on and on. So you can give the person perhaps a minute or two to talk about their presentation, what they thought went well and what didn't. And then there should be an open questioning time for perhaps 5 minutes. And then that person should then be given the opportunity to say, this is what I'm going to do now, okay? And they make a commitment. This is what I'm going to do. Thank you for your feedback. This is what I'm going to try and do now. And it might be exactly what they were going to do at the beginning. It might have changed, all right? Then that person's air time, if you like, finishes, and then you move to the next one. So it's very much discrete chunks. Each person has their own period of time in which their problem, their issue, their ideas are discussed. Okay? So tomorrow, the idea is that you'll do this after lunch and test out how it works, okay? So you can come back, I'll try and look in on each group to see how they're working, and we can get some feedback, and if you have any further questions, because then you're going to run these on your own, okay? About, you know, how they're working or not going to work, all right? So some of the don'ts when you're doing this action learning is don't try and solve the problem. So again, if I said, oh, I'm going to use Kahoot to get students engaged, but I don't know what I'm going to do about phones, you come and say, right, okay, the way you're going to do this is don't use Kahoot, just get them to write something down on their paper and write it in the air. Okay, so I'm coming in and trying to solve the problem for you, and you're thinking like, I'm not doing that, you know, because you're imposing your own ideas, okay? So the idea is that you give the person space to find the solutions themselves, all right, rather than come in directive, giving them ideas and solutions. And that way people take ownership of it and they're more likely to do it. And also just a matter of courtesy, honesty and trust, anything that's discussed within the group, whether it seems terribly confidential or not, I don't think it's going to be like a state secret if you're going to use Kahoot or not, but it's just as a matter of courtesy, anything that's discussed within the group stays within the group and it's not discussed elsewhere, okay? So any questions about how the group will operate? Tomorrow's a test run, okay, so if you know, if you have questions, you can ask them, but these are just kind of the ground rules, and you might as a group decide on other ground rules anyway.
Can I ask your email address?
Yeah, I'm going to stick that up here. While I write that, you can think of any other questions that you have. So it's just Catherine, not Hannah, HB Academy, I'm running out of space, .ac.uk, alright? Well, I'll stick that on the virtual learning